We're on. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Hey, this is great. First of all, I'm totally charged up about this project that Nick Roach has started for a group called Shiva at the convenience store. I love it. It's almost as good as Vishnu at the deli, the delicatessen. I'm elated because I have an entire hour to talk about myself as part of this project. And there are other videos that I'm really enjoying, but you know what? I decided I don't want to watch too many other videos. I want to do this so it's as spontaneous as it can be. So what I'm going to do is, for the first time, read the guidelines that Nick has posted on the site for making a video. And this way, everything will be fresh and new. So I'll read the guidelines and then I'll go. I don't know who's going to hang out or be able to hang out for a whole hour, but I know I can, and I'm gonna do it. So let's start off. This is the video for Shiva at the Convenience Store series of videos of spiritual seekers, spiritual finders, telling about their the journey, spiritual journey. Spiritual seeker here, have my new malas, and describing how they came to awaken to their true nature, what are you going to call it? So I'm going to do the same thing. So let's start off, and let me read Nick's little thing here, little thing. Okay, he says, okay, so we want to follow a certain format. Okay. Oh, should not feel like a lecture. I'm not going to lecture, no. Okay, so the first section is preparing the ground, seeding, germination, and growth. Please describe your early spiritual experiences, practices, and any life experience that prepared you for awakening. Wow, man, I could go on and on, because if I did write a book, which I'm not going to, I got them all. I have millions of books piled up here. I have yet to read. I can't imagine adding to the pile. But if I did write a book, I know I would call it 50 Years a Seeker, because I have been a seeker, spiritual seeker, for 50 years, or a little more, actually. I think I started out when? This is 2017 at the end. Oh, who knows? At least 50 years. So what does Nick say here? What does he say? He says, okay, spiritual experiences. Well, I had a lot of spiritual experiences, but, you know, like anything, like all experiences, they come and go. And frankly, I don't put too much stock in spiritual experiences, because, as I say, they come and go. You know, so what value are they? But I guess the value is that they spur you on. They show you, there's something more to life, et cetera, et cetera. I started out on the bhakti path, okay? I joined 1970. Well, actually, my spiritual journey started a little earlier. I was in this kind of group of people studying Gnosticism in Greenwich Village when I came out of college around 1966, and then I moved to Manhattan, and I was exploring different things I came across and adding the Village Voice for Gnosticism, study Gnosticism with this self-styled guru. I say very, very self-styled. So I signed up for the course, and I used to go to his apartment. We had about 7 or 8 people. Those pings you hear from Facebook. Maybe I should shut. No, I need to keep Facebook open because I want to read the guidelines. Anyway, we used to go to this guy's apartment in Greenwich Village. He called himself Francois, but his real name was Frank something. I don't remember his last name. The good news about Frank, or Francois, was that he was a friend of Joseph Campbell. Now, Joseph Campbell, we all know, is a major figure in this whole spiritual search thing. The Hero with 1,000 Faces. That was like I read that book. I said, that's me. That's me. I'm the hero. Well, everybody's the hero, but I'm just saying, heroine, whatever. I said, I totally identified with that and said, this is it. So anyway, the Gnosticism thing, I never got. It was very complicated, but I got to study the collected works of Carl Jung, a lot of like Egyptian mystery type thing, and who's that guy? Gerald Massey and Alvin Boyd Kuhn, a lot of these great writers, but it was very esoteric. I didn't get it, but I did love meeting Joseph Campbell and going to some of his lectures at Cooper Union through this guy, Francois, who was like a student of his, or he really revered Joseph Campbell. And we used to hang out sometimes at McSorley's Ale House and listen to Campbell tell these hilarious stories about his experiences, in Japan and India. And of course, having drinking ale helped the whole thing along. Anyway, that was kind of that. I was involved with this guy for about a year. Saw Joseph Campbell a few times. He came to a few of our sessions. But when I found out that Francois had screwed my girlfriend when I was off doing whatever, probably shopping for books at Samuel Wise's. I used to love going to Samuel Wise's down on 4th Avenue or something to buy these esoteric books. Anyway, I had it with, I said, no, I can't. Not only wasn't I getting this whole Gnosticism thing, we have to write down our dreams and try to break them down into archetypal, get the archetypal symbol. Not only wasn't I getting it, but then when my girlfriend revealed the bad news to me, I said, okay, that's it for Gnosticism. That's it for Francois, and that's it for the girlfriend. I'm out of here. Cut to Sri Chinmoy. Sri Chinmoy, I met a woman in a bookstore, East West Books on West 53rd Street in Manhattan. I was looking for books on Aurobindo for some reason. I don't know. Who knows? And she came over and she says, oh, you're interested in Sri Aurobindo? And I said, well, I'm checking everything out. I think he had a book called, or somebody had a book called Adventure in Consciousness, about the philosophy of Sri Aurobindo. And she said, guess what? My guru grew up in his ashram, spent 20 years in his ashram. I said, oh, no kidding. That's interesting. And she said, are you looking for a guru? And actually, I was, because I had read a book, one of these Vedanta, Advaita Vedanta books, where they said, you must get a guru. You must have a guru, or else forget about it. You're going to wallow in ignorance for the 18,000 kalpas and 46 million incarnations and 6 you. So I said, yes, I want a guru. I want a guru. So she said, come to a meditation at the United Nations. Check out my guru. He's the real deal or whatever. And I said, yeah, okay, fine, why not? And then from there, blah, blah, blah. After a series of going to see him, I decided to become a disciple. Okay. Because he said, look, you've been hanging around a little, you've been hanging around here, come on, what are you going to do? You're going to join up, or you're going to, or don't bother coming. So I said, oh, no, I'll join. So I became a disciple. So from 1970 to 1980, I was a disciple of the Indian spiritual master Sri Chinmoy, whose path basically is bhakti yoga, devotion, and which really fit in with my nature, because the thing I like about devotion is that you don't have to think about anything. You can just devote yourself to the guru or the chosen ideal, Krishna, Kali Ma, whoever, or the guru. The guru represents the divine. Okay, so that was that. For 10 years I did that. So what else? So during that time I had a lot of spiritual experiences. I mean, really nice, powerful spiritual experiences, which really, like, if I wasn't really on the path, which I think I was, after reading Joseph Campbell's The Hero with 1,000 Faces and reading some of Jung's stuff and some of this other stuff, the devotional path, the bhakti, devotion, love, devotion, surrender, that thing really put me on the spiritual path. I said, look, this is it for me. This is it. I'm in. I'm going all the way. A lot of stuff happened, blah, blah, blah. 1980, I left. I decided to, I tapped, I kind of peaked and I wasn't going anywhere. It's like spinning. So I said, I got to get out of here. So I moved to Connecticut. Okay. So then I fell back into drinking and drugs, but hey, that's part of the path too. After about a year, and in Connecticut, in Westport, Connecticut, I sampled a lot of the New Age stuff, crystals and aura, crystal healing, aura cleansing, past life regression. Oh God, what else? Oh, Reiki and Reiki therapy. Armoring, take off the armor. I get so many things. Oh, channeling. I used to go to people to channel these people. Oh, I'm getting a message from some warrior who lived 30,000 years ago, and some all this stuff. But New Age. Oh, how could I ever forget? Sensory deprivation tanks were big in the early 1980s. So I did a lot of sensory deprivation thing. I used to go there and say, oh, this is so great. And you used to just, zone out. But all this stuff, it's just sampling. So, but it was good. Then I came upon the S training, Werner Erhardt's S training. This was great. Now, this was great. It was like, I don't know, 2 weekends or whatever it was, the weekend thing, but you can't pee. You got to sit there for 8 hours. I got to pee now, but I'm not going to do it because I want to get this thing, I don't want to interrupt the flow here. Est, great. I mean, that was like a mind blower. I loved Est. I loved it. And then I signed up for the advanced course. You go up with rappelling and you do it, face your fears, and you go away in the woods and you have to, I'm afraid, I fear, but I'm going to do it anyway. And you go down to rappel and whatever, all this stuff, and very intense. But I'll tell you, 2 thumbs up for S training. I know Werner is a very controversial figure. Don't want to go into that. I never met the guy personally, but the trainers were very good. And I became what we call an est hole. I just wanted, because they'd say, oh, well, you want to help out. Yeah. So actually, that's a cult too. The whole S thing is a cult, just like the whole Sri Chinmoy thing. But to be fair, any of these groups are cults because you think the guru or the leader is, God incarnate or something, or the, next Messiah. So, I mean, this is so typical. Everybody has their own experiences. So when I use the word cult, I'm not talking Jim Jones, Scientology. I'm talking about, cult light. Like, yes, we think this guy is so great and we'll do whatever he says. And, some people have bad experiences. Some people, I didn't have bad experiences. So I'm not knocking. My experience was good. I know other people had bad. I'm just talking about my experience, right? It's all good. But it was like a little cult. I got out of that when I had enough of that stuff. This is the yes thing. Then what did I do? Oh, one day, 2 really beautiful girls, like Utah farm girls, knocked on my door. They said, do you mind, can we come in and tell you about Joseph Smith? I said, yeah, come on in, because they were so cute. And next thing you know, I was being baptized in the Mormon Church, the Latter-day Saints, and which I liked because as a Catholic, all I got was the sprinkle. I got the sprinkle. The sprinkle doesn't do it, let me tell you. But as a Mormon, you get plunged into the bath, and it was like so great. I had to whatever, born again, whatever the thing was. So I joined the Mormons. Great people, really fucking crazy theology, let me tell you. So when I finally came across the Book of Mormon, I was saying like, what? The people are great. I love the people. The Book of Mormon is nuts. And then I came across the the biography of Joseph Smith, Fawn Brody, blew me out of the water. And then I discovered the anti-Mormons group. And so again, going from one cult to another cult to another cult. Because all these things are cults. All these religions, all these spiritual, they're all cults. I'm not saying they're bad, they're evil, but I'm just saying they're cults. So, and I said, oh my God, I can't, I don't want my own planet. Because you have your own, you get, if you're a Mormon and you go through the whole thing, you get your own planet at some point. I didn't quite get at what point, but and the only thing I regret about leaving the Mormon Church was I never got to wear the underwear, because I was supposed to go to the temple and get the whatever, the initiations and stuff, and then I get to wear the underwear, but I never got to wear the underwear. I heard a lot about it, but I've seen pictures of it. Didn't look too. I'd rather wear I'd rather wear something a little more sexy or something. But the underwear, I thought I wanted to have the experience. I didn't get. Okay, what happened after Mormons? I didn't have any particular experience in Mormons, but it was just nice people. What I loved about the Mormons was that they invited me to dinner every Sunday. I got a different invitation because I was a single guy, so they wanted to marry me up and get me to have like 7 or 8 kids. So they would invite me to dinner, all these families, and then there would always be some young Mormon girl there, either from Utah or someplace like out west. Nice looking girls, farm girls, but I'm thinking like, I don't know that I want to have children. In fact, I really got clear that I did not want to have children. Sorry, I cancel. So, but I love the dinners, the Sunday dinners. Great. Great. After church, we'd go over to someone's house, have a big dinner. That was great. Love it. But the whole Joseph Smith thing, no, I can't. No. So, what happened after that? I was driving for Paul Newman and Paul Newman's family, and I drove his daughter to some horse. She used to ride horses in New Jersey. So I drove her to her horse thing, and then I had to kill some time before she was done with her horse lesson, jumping over the steeplechase. So I go into this town, and I'm just wandering around, and I walk in a Christian bookstore, and I pick up this little thing, like one of these tracts, like, do you know Jesus, or you're going to hell, whatever it was. Anyway, I was feeling, at this point, I was a little depressed because I felt like, I'm not, I need something. The Mormons didn't work out. The Gnosticism didn't work out. The Sri Chinmoy Bhakti Yoga didn't work out, although I still felt a little devotion, but not to him, but to, something. Didn't work out. It was great, didn't work out. Mormons didn't work out. I'm getting a little depressed here. So, what the hell? And all these other things, they were just like, the crystals and the deprivation and blah, 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 the past lives. And you go there, rebirthing. I'm coming through the birth channel. It's traumatic. All this stuff, and I'm so depressed. But then, bingo! I read this tract, and something spoke to me, and I said, "Yes, I want to accept Jesus into my heart as my personal Lord and Savior." Bingo! One thing led to another. I got involved in this Bible study thing. I became a born again Christian. I got baptized again. I got baptized as a Roman Catholic. The sprinkle I don't like. Mormons, full immersion, I like. The Christians, the born again Christians, we went up to someplace in Connecticut. I think I went to like a river, went to like a creek or something, and we did the thing there, dip your head under the water. It was great. I love getting baptized for some reason. I don't know. I don't want to make too much of it, but there may be something with this whole immersion in water thing. I don't know. So I became a born again Christian. Great, loved it. You know what I loved about the born again Christians? The praise, the singing, and the talking in tongues. I love talking in tongues. It was so great. You go, the Holy Spirit. Good stuff. I loved it. However, about a year of being born again, and speaking in tongues and prophesying, oh, I say unto you, my people, unless, you know, blah, blah, blah. What was I going to say? About a year into that, I walk into a bookstore in Westport, Connecticut. I see this book on the shelf, the Urantia book. I open it up. I remember right now, it was page 1487. I think so. I can look it up. The book is over there. And I open it up. And it talks about the Bible and how, you know, it's not the word of God, really. It's, you know, got some good stuff in there. But anyway, I started reading about the Urantia book. This is a revelation, an uptick. Now, the Mormons say the Book of Mormon is an uptick from the Bible, like this is the new revelation. Okay, the Urantia book goes one better and says, not only is this a new revelation, this is the fifth epical revelation. This is it. Anyway, I started reading. I couldn't put the thing down. I bought the book. I went home. I said, hey, cut the Christianity stuff. We're going to go with the Book of the Urantia book. I got in touch with some people. I don't know. I wrote to Chicago because they're based in Chicago, and they referred me to somebody in Darien, Connecticut. Study group. I love study groups because you go there and they always have, like, you know, wine or, you know, something to eat, because, you know, they don't want you to come in and study and not give you something, coffee, wine, whatever. And so I love study groups. So I went there in Darien, Connecticut, hooked up with these people, beautiful people, love them. In fact, I still have a really close friend from that group. And I stayed with that group for 5 years. It was a study group, the Urantia book, the Urantia movement. It's great. I love it. It's all about the life of Jesus, which is really great. You know, not the Bible version, but the so-called real version. And then, you know, all about cosmology and the history of the world and evolution and religions. And it was great. Great book. Loved it. 5 years. Then I discovered Nisargadatta Maharaj. I am that. Well, again, another bookstore thing. I always go into bookstores and I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm always looking. And then I picked up, I am that. Nisargadatta Maharaj. Bingo. I sort of faded. My interest in the Urantia books started to fade, and I started to get into, like, non-duality, man. Love non-duality. The Ramana Maharshi, I never really connected with him. I tried to read the big book those talks and stuff. I mean, I know Ramana Maharshi and Nisargadatta, they're like the two top guys in the Advaita non-dual world. I mean, you know, bar none. But I just felt closer to Nisargadatta, so I kind of really became a Nisargadatta nut. I read all the books. I was a nut. I couldn't. This is the greatest. I am that. But all the books, you know, Nisargadatta. What? Yeah. Then they're just dialogues. He didn't write. They're dialogues. What else? You know, consciousness in the absolute, prior to consciousness, all this stuff. It opened the whole world of non-duality to me. The whole world of non-duality. And from there, you know, I got interested in Ramesh Balsekar because Ramesh supposedly is the successor to Nisargadatta. Nisargadatta died. And he smoked a lot of beedis, a lot of Indian cigarettes, and he got throat cancer, and he died. So Ramesh was the guy who, and Ramesh's books are great. Love Ramesh. Ramesh's books. So he was the successor. So when Ramesh came to town, not my town, but Philadelphia, no, Pennsylvania. I went to see him for a weekend. But you know what? I didn't last the whole weekend because, first of all, when I got together, when I saw Ramesh in person and heard his thing, I just said, "This ain't Nisargadatta." There was just, I mean, Ramesh is highly revered by many people and thought of as, you know, great guru, but he didn't really strike me. And I just had a new girlfriend, and I was kind of anxious to get back home. You know, I said, well, I'm going to stay here, listen to this lecture, or I'm going to go back and be with my new girlfriend. So I left, but I love Ramesh's books, but there was just no resonance personally. And then later on, Wayne Lickerman, who's Ramesh's main guy, I went to see him, and it was the same story. I mean, the spiel is great, the thing is great, but I just didn't feel the thing, so I kind of drifted from that whole scene. What happened next? I don't know. I'm going on and on. Where am I? I'm like in the 1990s somewhere. Oh, Course in Miracles. Oh. Then I discovered Course in Miracles. So, and that was for 2 years. And that's blah, blah, that's another cult. Okay, blah, blah. Then I discovered Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. I love chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. I still do it today. I mean, when I think, sometimes somebody says, hey, ever hear about Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho? But you know what? I did a bad thing. I'm not going to say, because they'll come and get me, but I did a bad thing. But anyway, I was involved with Nam Myoho. I was involved with the Course in Miracles for 2 years. Then got rid of that. Then Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Now, I gotta watch the time here. I'm only gonna go. I can't go more than an hour. I left Nam Myoho. What did I do after that? Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. I did a lot of stuff. I forget a lot of stuff. I just go from one thing to another. I don't remember, frankly, what happened. But I continued my non-dual thing because I like non-duality because it's fun. Because you can just say, hey, there's nobody here. There's no self. There's no doer. There's no what. So I am that, So leave me alone. It has its appeal. I don't remember all the stuff I did. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to bring it up to date. What did I do? What did I know? Oh, I don't remember. Candace O'Denver, Balanced View. I did that for 3 years. Candace O'Denver, Balanced View for 3 years. But so that was like Dzogchen. Oh, and I moved to Canada for a while, and I studied Dzogchen Tibetan. I took just like I got baptized, I took refuge in the Triple Gems, and I took the Bodhisattva vow. And so I'm vowing to save all sentient beings, and I'm thinking like, what sentient beings are you talking about? Having been steeped in non-duality, it's like, hey, there's no sentient beings out there, man. It's all in your head. So, but I'm going through the thing with the Bodhisattva vow, and I'm saying I'm going to save all sentient beings. So anyway, I said, but anyway, okay, I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot. I'll try to save sentient beings. So but I love the Tibetan Buddhism. Don't get me wrong. Another cult, of course. And I love the whole Dzogchen, especially Dzogchen, because Dzogchen is the best. It's the top. It doesn't get any better than Dzogchen. Ati Yoga is, I did that for 2 years. Okay, then what else? Candace O'Denver and Balanced View came. It used to be known as Great Free, and then they switched to Balanced View. That was good too, but it was kind of like the Dzogchen thing. Take short moments of pure awareness until it becomes continuous. Good stuff. Another cult. So, after a while, I was like, nah. So where are we now? Oh, then I discovered a great teacher, a real great teacher. I went on a few times. Oh, I did the Goenka, the 10-day Vipassana thing when I was in Canada. That was great. 10-day Goenka Vipassana retreat. I know people who've done many of them. I did one. Great. So I met a teacher, Anadi, and I went on some retreats with him. He's a top-notch teacher, but I tell you what, I just couldn't make the breakthrough with him for some reason, but top-notch teacher. What happened after that? Oh, we're coming to the end of my story. I ran into Fred Davis somehow on the internet, and I took Fred Davis's awakening package. He guarantees you're going to wake up if you take his 5 package. It was like $750. I said, what the hell? I spent $100,000 already on these retreats. What's another 750, right? What's another? So I took his awakening course, which was good. Listen, I like Fred. I'm a fan of Fred. He's got his shtick, you know, and it's very effective in bringing one to an awareness of their true nature, which, you know, that's worth $750. But the best thing about Fred was he told me about the Finder's Course. The Finder's Course, Jeffrey Martin. Now we're coming to the end of my story. Thank God, right? Took the Finder's Course, 17-week. It's a 17-week course we use. They call it the Finder's Course because the premise is once you take this course, you're no longer a seeker anymore. You're a finder. And one person I was taking was said, "This is my last chance to get enlightened. I have to do this. I have to do." So I said, "Yeah, okay." So, but that was the idea. The premise is you're going to get enlightened, right? Good course. I recommend it, but you're probably not going to get enlightened. But so what? 17 weeks, every week you do a different thing, like you do Vipassana, you do meditate, different practice, they bring in different teachers. It's great. I love it. The Finder's Course. You can look it up. I came out of the Finder's Course. Not exactly enlightened, but you know, but my well-being was way up there, which is good. And I was kind of, you know, enjoying things, but it fell flat. And then I discovered through the community that we have, Finder's Course graduates, we go on these courses. Somebody said, "Hey, this is a good book. It's a book 1000 by Rama G." I never heard of Rama G. It's a big book. It's like, you know, big tome, like your Rancher book or like somebody's book, you know, 1,000 pages. So naturally I ordered it because I order everything. You know, somebody says, "Hey, this guy's good. Locke Kelly is good." I'll order it. Locke Kelly is good, by the way. You know, a lot of these guys are good. So anyway, one guy on this conference call I'm on, he said, "Yes," he mentioned Book 1000. So naturally I order it. I have a thing with Amazon, one click, bing, 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 comes, and a lot of stuff I get for free because I buy so much stuff. Okay. So the book is hanging around here. And I'm just going through, you know, my regular stuff. The book is hanging around. One day I'm looking through it. And just like with the Rancher book, I uncover a section where Rama G, never heard of him before, but I give everybody a shot, talks about an experience he had at the Ramakrishna Vivekananda Temple in Los Angeles involving Kali Ma. Kali Ma. I'll tell you right now, I'm a Kali Ma guy. So when Ramaji described his experience, I just felt I got to get in touch with this guy because there's something about what he's saying resonates with me. I go all the way back to my bhakti days, like 30, 40, however long years ago, 1970s. Now we're in 2000, whatever. 17. Yeah, 17. That's fine. I said, I got to call this guy. So I call Rama G. I don't call him, but I go on his site and I sign up for his thing. You know, hey, some people say, you can't pay for the Dharma. You can't sell the Dharma. Well, I don't care about that. I pay for everything. I don't care. So I could, you know, what's a few $100s more after all this? You know, so I signed up for Ramaji's thing. So now I start my relationship with Ramaji in like around January. We're coming to the end of this year. So the beginning of this year, I start my relationship with Ramaji. He does these rasa transmissions. I don't want to go into a big long story because you can look it up, and I'll say more because I'm doing the same thing now. I'm going to have a website. I'm going to do the same thing that he's doing, but I got it from him. And I got it from his co-teacher. His Ananda Devi teaches with him. Between the two of them, you know, they put me over the edge. Okay, that's what I'm going to say. So I'm a seeker, I'm a seeker, I'm a seeker, I'm a seeker, I'm a seeker. I meet Rama G, I meet Ananda Devi, I do their thing with the Rasa sessions. Bingo, I'm over the top. I'm no longer a seeker. End of seeking story. End of seeking story. And this was in, like, I would say March. I wrote down March 18th. It's a little arbitrary. It was a little arbitrary, but that's the day I mark end of seeking. Now hey, here I am. So that's my seeking story. I'm no longer a seeker. What I'm doing is I'm creating my own website. It's going to go up on December 18th. I'm going to be doing what Rama G does in doing the transmissions. End of seeking. End of seeking. It's all about the end of seeking. That's my whole Johnny one note, one note samba. End of seeking. Because until you're seeking, it doesn't matter what experiences you have. And you're having experiences. Great, you saw Krishna, blah, blah, blah. Some golden light came down, blah, blah, blah. That comes and goes. So you're still seeking. You're on that hamster wheel of seeking. Hamster wheel, never get off. But once you get off, now it's a whole new ballgame. Now it's a new story, ever unfolding. Where is it going? I don't know, but it's pretty great. And on that note, I'm going to end my little talk. I don't know how long I've been going on. I don't want to go do the rest of this. What's the rest of the stuff? I don't know. I'll read it later. But I just wanted to tell my seeking story. And now I'm done with seeking. I can't tell you what it's like, because it's such a relief to be done with that seeking stuff. I'm sure you can relate, because if whether you're seeking for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, or 50 years like me, I'm a long-time seeker. Well, I'm an old guy, that's why. Been around the block. It's like, after a while, it's like, enough with the seeking, okay? Let's get into the finding or being or realization. Some people don't like the E word, enlightenment. I'm okay with it. Awakening is a good word. Realization is a good word. But it's all the same thing. It's just waking up from the dream of who you thought you were. Simple as that. I'm going to end it here. Once again, I want to thank Nick and everybody participating in this Shiva at not the gas pump. That's the other thing. Shiva at the convenience store. Love it. Hey, thanks for listening. I hope you made it through, but if you didn't, believe me, I understand. I can only take about 5 minutes of these things, but I'm going to hang in for the rest of these videos. Okay. My name is Gary G. Check out my website when it goes up sometime in around December 18th. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. And I want to give a shout out to my good friend Durga Moffat, Danya. She's a student of Advaita Vedanta, the real thing, with Swami Dayananda, and she taught me. I said to her once, Om Shanti Shanti. She said, no, 3 Shantis, because. And then she explained it, and she has a great explanation. I keep forgetting, but it's like the 3 Shantis. I don't know, but you do 3, you don't do 2. So let me just say, me in this note on Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace to all beings. I learned that up in Canada. Peace to all beings, and I'm going to keep trying to save all sentient beings. What the hell? I took the vow. I might as well live up to it. All right, enough. End the recording. This is it. I'm done.